What you're listening to in the background there? It's called Chicago house music. Chicago house music, blues, jazz. The culture of Chicago changed the world. And we have a historic opportunity to save Chicago. Because right now, Chicago's at a crossroads. And we're going to talk about posse comitatus, which translates into power of the county. Power of the county. Power of the county. Right on. All right. So the origin of the posse comitatus, power of the county, is when a sheriff would need to get something done, and so he get a posse of citizens to help him in his law enforcement activities. And in 1878, a law was enacted to limit Army and the Air Force as far as policing functions was concerned. That was to protect civilians from military control. And in places like France, it's completely the opposite. You have military guys in fatigues and machine guns constantly patrolling the streets. You know, you see them all the time at the Eiffel Tower. And so, but in America, we were like, let's chill on the Army in the streets thing. And the exceptions are the National Guard by decree of Congress or a presidential executive order. And so here's the deal. All right. Chicago is on the national stage because it is like the murder capital of the world. I don't know if the world, but definitely of America. And like places like Somalia and Haiti have less murders than Chicago. So an entire generation is being lost to violence, and quite frankly, everyone's sick of it. There's no answers. Pritzker doesn't have an answer. The mayor, Brandon Johnson, doesn't have an answer. And here, this is Lake Michigan. This is the Loop, and as you follow the expressway, right, you have just these war-torn Afghanistan neighborhoods, and it is even more horrific because I'm listening to these ghetto kids, and they're like, don't bring the National Guard to Chicago, you know what I'm saying? We got switches. And I'm like, switches? What are they talking about? And I remember Richard Pryor saying his grandma would make him go get a switch, which was a branch, so she could beat him with it. It was a funny skit. But so no, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about a switch, which is an accessory you put on a handgun that turns it into an automatic weapon. And so let me show you what this looks like. So so watch.
So this is semi-automatic, a single pull of the trigger, and I'll do 3 shots as fast as I can. So that's a pull of the trigger each time. And then this, again, is turning it on fully auto.
Okay, did you see that? That's what these kids
No offense.
in Chicago. Oops, sorry, we got this playing. That's what these kids in these war-torn areas of Chicago they have. So I have this thing. Did you see the gun just? There's no accuracy. So there's one gangbanger shooting at another, and the bullets fly out like projectile vomit. And all the kids walking to school, and the grandmas and grandpas sitting on the porches, right? They're the ones that get hit. And so, because there's these ICE protests, and the way Chicago is, it's a sanctuary city, which means that the local police cannot help federal law enforcement, and so ICE doesn't have any organic intelligence or any real local knowledge of the scene, so they have to solve that problem with numbers. So you have these huge details, huge groups of ICE agents that are being met with protests, and you have local and national media doing insane stuff like this. So here is the Chicago Sun-Times, all right? And they're saying, hey, we've teamed up with a local NPR WBEZ radio station, and we created this app. Submit your photo of ICE. Why? So you can dox some poor federal ICE agent, trying to stop crime. So that's one side of the landscape. But here's the other side. This is the Chicago Defender. All right, this is a historic African American publication. And so these voices, you'll never see these voices on the Sun-Times. Okay? You'll never hear these voices in local media, and they're the ones who are calling out Mayor Johnson for taking Chicago's scarce resources and giving it to illegal immigrants to house illegal immigrants instead of helping solve this horrific problem. All right? They're not getting the job done. This is an embarrassment to Chicago. It's an embarrassment to America. Just this skyrocketing unchecked murder rate. All right? And so this is a classic. Let's see if I can get this. This is a classic meme here.
Look around you right now. Does this look like an emergency? Look at this. Go talk to the people of Chicago who are enjoying a gorgeous afternoon in this city. Find a family who's enjoying today sitting on their front porch and ask if they want their neighborhoods turned into a war zone by a wannabe dictator.
Okay, so that's a perfect presentation as far as, reality and the fantasy world that the local media and the national media is trying to say that there's that the crime problem in Chicago is being solved. All right, that's a fantasy. It's not being solved. It's still horrific. And so here's the plan, man. Here's the plan. All right? Chicago's at a crossroads. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And so the rising crime, the media chaos, public confusion, voices, not African-American voices not getting heard. Chicago's crime problem is not just a local issue. It's on the national stage. All right? We look like an embarrassment in front of the nation. So the opportunity, you have ICE agents that are being targeted, and they need protection. So it makes sense for a executive order releasing the National Guard to protect these ICE agents, which are doing great work ridding Chicago of all these illegal criminals, drug dealers, pedophiles. So this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's a solution that America has been waiting for. To just like in D.C., we're done with crime. We're done. All right, and it's a chance to shift the national conversation. And how do we do that? We leverage AI and live streams like I'm doing now. We don't wait for the press to cover us. We become the press. We give these voices that are just ignored, we give them a platform in which they can be heard. And how do we do that? We use the AI as an assistant, right, for content creation, thumbnails, captions, so on and so forth. But also we can have avatars, chatbots and avatars to have safe anonymous representation of the message. And then we can have agents. They call this use of AI agentic. All right, it's an agentic use of AI where you have real-time monitoring of the conversation, so you can respond to it as needed. Daily broadcast rhythms includes Truth Social, TikTok, Rumble, Where the Kids Are, Kick, right? I'm totally new to Kick, and what's the other one? Threads, right? So you have long-form content that you can chop up and distribute on a daily basis. And you tag influencers to encourage sharing and engagement, and you build LinkedIn and YouTube as sort of your primary long-form battlegrounds. And this is more than a campaign. It's a legacy move. We're talking about something that's career making for those involved, and history defining for Chicago and its residents. So we can't miss this opportunity. We need to turn Chicago into a mega ground zero, and we can do it by giving these voices, these African American voices, a chance to be heard. And this ICE plus National Guard union can be America's new security narrative, a foundation for national transformation. As we're done with we're done with crime. So we lead the charge by capturing the truth, owning the moment, in an effort to shape history. All right? Capture the truth. We're done with the fake news. We're done with the fake narrative. Just like that powerful press conference that Trump had at the White House, talking about Tylenol and vaccines and the vaccine schedule. That's groundbreaking. All right? So we need to follow this momentum, this charge for truth and common sense. We're done. We're done with the crime. We're done with the switches. We're done with the automatic weapons being sprayed indiscriminately, ending the lives of an entire generation of Chicagoans. We're done. All right? So, I'm ready to lead the charge. My info is in the details. Sign me up. Let's get this party started. All right. You made it this far. Really appreciate you coming along for the ride. These broadcasts are a lot of fun. Getting all my ideas coalesced. It's been great. All right. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Au revoir.